What's going on, guys? The spoilers for My Hero Academia Chapter 294 are out, and Horikoshi has somehow found a way to include yet another reveal in this arc. In the last few chapters, we've had Bakugo's hero name reveal, we've had Mirio's return, Best Jeanist still being alive, Dabi being Toya, and now to top everything off, we've got the reveal of Mr. Compress's identity and his lineage. It really makes me feel that Horikoshi is trying to wrap up like virtually all the existing mysteries in this series. And it kind of makes me wonder, is a time skip going to happen sooner than we think? Just before we get into the spoilers, be sure to sub to the channel and remember that every Sunday on Twitch, I do a live reaction to the official translations, which always has more details than the spoilers. Okay, so the name of chapter 294 is The Last Stage, which I think is a subtle reference to Mr. Compress's theatrical nature and also the fact that the war arc is coming to an end. The chapter begins with panels of injured and unconscious heroes all across Japan, which includes Hawks, Mirko, Mount Lady, Aizawa, and Endeavor. If you saw the chapter last week, you'll know that Endeavor gathered all of his strength to give Gigantomachia a big punch to the face, but in the process it seems that he's used the last of his energy. As mentioned in a previous video, Endeavor has been fighting literally all day, so it's a miracle that he's made it this far before finally passing out. The manga switches over to Best Jeanist, who is now able to focus all of his energy on restraining the different Paranormal Liberation Front members. This is because last chapter, Momo's sedative finally kicked in, and so this gives Jeanist the opportunity to focus on the other villains. With the sedative now working, it's definitely a blow to my Momo traitor theory, so I guess for the time being, someone irrelevant will go back to being the main suspect. I'm going with Invisible Girl for now, but who knows, maybe it's, I don't know, someone in Class 1B, who knows at this point. Anyway, while all this is going on, the UA students are still trying to protect Best Jeanist by fighting off the Black Nomus. The spoilers say that these Nomus have now reached a level of strength that is equal to the higher Nomu which fought against Endeavor, so obviously the situation is really tricky now. Tenya tells Bakugo for the 100th time to just stay out of the fight because he's severely injured, and Dynamite thinks to himself that Tenya was right, but at this moment he's so injured that he can't even reply. Best Jeanist then begins to go on the offensive and uses his steel fibers to squeeze the villains extra hard with the intention of making them go unconscious. Shigaraki, Spinner, and Compress are all victims of this squeezing, and the manga briefly shows us a panel of Toga, who is away somewhere else running through a random alleyway. I imagine that Toga will make her appearance very soon because when she initially left the villains to find Ochako, Spinner made her promise to return to them, so I think she'll join up with them before the villains all leave. As Jeanist continues to squeeze the life out of them, Spinner makes a hilarious face whilst expressing his love for the other members. However, Compress uses his quirk at the last second to free his right hand, and then he compresses both Spinner and Shigaraki. By using his quirk, he's freed both himself and the other villains from these steel fibers that were restraining them. It almost sounds like the perfect magic trick, which is something you'd expect from a performer like this. From the leaks we have so far, at some point in this chapter, Compress's mask comes off his face, which gives us a good look at him for the first time. He reveals that he is a descendant of Oji Harima, who was described as one of the greatest villains in history. Harima was a famous thief and was previously seen next to All For One and Destro back when Gentle Criminal was talking about the most famous criminals. This means that the Paranormal Liberation Front have the successor to All For One in Shigaraki, the son of the #1 hero in Dabi, the son of Destro in Redestro, and now they have a descendant of one of the most famous thieves to ever live in Mr. Compress. A few chapters ago, Compress mentioned that he was surprised that another member of the villains came from a famous bloodline, which was a big clue that he himself had something to hide. Whilst the spoilers don't confirm his exact relation to Oji Harima, I imagine that Compress is the son of this villain, but we won't know for sure until the official translations come out. Also, just before I move on, it's worth noting that Compress has basically the same hairstyle as Oji Harima himself. Honestly, I've never even thought about what Mr. Compress's hair looked like. Like, he always just wears the hat. I've never even thought about it. But yeah, seeing his real face and seeing his hair is definitely way different to what I would have imagined. The scene then switches over to Shoto versus Toya Todoroki, and they continue to blast each other with flames. With Endeavor now lying on the ground unconscious, Toya isn't really interested in continuing the fight anymore, and he tells Shoto that there's been a change of plans. Dabi sees no point in killing his brother at this moment, because if his father isn't awake to witness it, then, what is he doing it for? Dabi unleashes a jet burn attack to push Shoto away, and then he retreats back onto Gigantomachia's back. That last jet burn from Toya was enough to burn Shoto and just make him fall back completely, which means that Shoto, Endeavor, Bakugo, and Deku are now all in really bad shape. With Compress's identity now revealed, the chapter ends with him saying that it's now time to begin the escape show. Next chapter, I imagine that we'll see the villains just trying to get the hell out of there, so let me know down below how you think they're going to escape. I'd like to see your take on this down below, and remember, check me out on Twitch this Sunday if you want to see my reaction to the full chapter. I have a video coming out tomorrow on YouTube, so be sure to keep a lookout for that, and until the next one, peace out.